The Deputy President has never supported, he has never objected that document. Somehow he has found himself somewhere that he has never taken a stand on the document. You know, you would call somebody a watermelon if today I took a stand saying the document is good, then tomorrow I say the document is bad, then tomorrow I say the document looks like the watermelon of this particular document should be Musalia Mudavadi. He is the one who has been, it is good, it is bad, it looks like it is good, you know. So therefore, you cannot accuse the Deputy President of actually taking any position regarding this document. And today, as he meets his allies, I still think and I still believe he will still insist on consensus. He will still insist on an contested referendum. And I will tell you, the people, it is like the way you just wish. I wish BITOK will oppose me in a debate. They are praying day and night.
Naomba kabisa.
Wanaomba karibu waende kufunga, kuomba na kufunga for the Deputy President to say no to this document. Because kuna watu wamekaa wamefanya mahesabu pale Gigiri kwa ofisi ya mama fulani hapo. Wamefanya mahesabu ya how much money they will make out of this BBI. But inakaa the Deputy President anafanya githeri yao imwagike kwa sababu he is not fighting this document. We have Mother Karua, we have other people who have come out with the Rinda Katiba initiative, but the proponent of BBI are still not satisfied that the Deputy President has not come out to oppose this document. And they are trying every trick on the book to have him oppose this document. You cannot.
But he has been critical on it. Why?
No. Let me tell you, being critical of this document doesn't mean necessarily that you oppose this document. No.
Na unasikia watu wanasema ati, you know, it's as if Martha Karua is not a human being. Ni kama hawezi. It's as if akina Kivusa Kibwana are not politicians. So people are saying ati the BBI no campaign is a headless snake without DP. Sasa nyinyi, honestly, you sit and you're like, kwani these other people, those are not heads.
No, let me tell you. The way they are putting it, it is a pure and true confirmation that they know where the serious campaign and the serious opposition might come from. And therefore, I think what they are telling us indirectly that they fear the Deputy President. They feel that the Deputy President should be the target. And I think it is very wrong for me to reduce a constitutional amendment of a national document to a contest between William Ruto, Raila Odinga, and other people.
And Gerald, can I say something?
Yes, please.
Now that MUCHENDU has brought that up, it is an insult to think that Martha Karua is a nobody when it comes to matters constitution. It is an insult. It is an insult to think that when the likes of GERALD say and Boniface Mwangi and what we call these human rights activists, when they convene together and they come and they read a document and they aggressively pick out things that are flawed in that document, it's an insult to, actually an insult to the people of Kenya to say, oh, those are nobody, tunangojea Ruto apinge hiki tu. Because when you put the likes of Martha Karua side to side with William Ruto on matters constitution, on matters legal affairs, surely hapo heavyweight ni Martha Karua. And you know, the thing that I really personally I wish and I would appeal to the Deputy President to oppose this thing. I'm one of those people who would want to see him going out like he did during the last referendum to oppose this thing, because I believe that is the right thing to do as a person who is standing and speaking for the hustler, as a person who's standing and purporting to share the views of the nobodies in this country. I believe and I hope that he would come out strongly and oppose this. You know, if he doesn't,
what happens to the hustlers? Because I was saying the other day,
no, you can't say that, because the hustlers are not baba yao si mmoja, baba yao si William Ruto.
Hustlers have several fathers.
We have many fathers. We have many mothers, we have many sisters. Hustlers wasisikia ati, oh, maybe Ruto because of his walisema he is bound to his line manager who's the president, so he must support the initiatives of the president and going against those things. Sijui hiyo kizungu nyingi wenye walikuwa natuambia. So me, I would tell the hustlers, you don't have one father and you don't have one mother. Kivutha Kibwana is there pushing your plight. You understand? Gloria ORWOBA is every day sitting and sensitizing people, telling them, ikitu, you are being conned. This is conmanship. There are many other people, akina Jerotich say, akina Martha Karua, na bedhe ikitu munadharau Martha Karua, atiyo, sijui is a comeback, nini. Martha Karua is the trump card that is going to changanyisha this election come 2022. Itawachanganisha watu washangae hizi votes zimeenda wapi. You continue, endeleni kudharau wa mama kama Martha Karua, and I'm telling you, those are the people you should be watching. So at the end of the day, even if the king of all hustlers, William Ruto, decides to go a certain direction, that is his. Hiyo ni yake. Sisi tunajua vizuri as the youth. The Youth Commission is not going to do anything different from what the National Youth Council is doing now. So as we know, there is nothing in there for the youth. Those 5 expanded seats that they are saying we are going to have prime ministers, who watu wote. Hakuna mahali youth wameambiwa watapewa kiti moja. When it comes to the women, hakuna mahali tumeambiwa so me I tell the youth, it doesn't, wacha kusema ati nita support kwa sababu baba ame-support ama nita oppose kwa sababu William Ruto ame-oppose. Weka chini ujiulize, ni siku gani sasa utakaa chini ujiulize now,
what is it
in it for me? Because akina Alex Matere and all these other youth cartels, them they know why every day they go to studio and push for that thing, because they've been promised things. So you, who has promised you anything? Hakuna mtu amekupromise anything. Kwa hivyo wewe hiyo kitu kwanza usijaribu kuenda kupiga kura juu, kwa sababu kama hawajadeal na hizo issues za IEBC, you going to vote is actually you going to give them a means to steal a vote. So you stay away from ile kitu yenye Raila alisema, we are going to withdraw our voting power. Atupeleki kura kwa sababu tukipeleka kura mnatuibia. Mimi naambia youth, msipeleke kura, mnapeleka kura wapi?
Kazi gani? What do you start from the meeting today?
Let me first of all look at now that Gloria has brought about the issue of IEBC. One of the major problems that has brought this country to its knees is our system of election. Who has been at the center stage of a failed elections? All of us blame the IEBC. And I ask myself, isn't this BBI setting out the IEBC to fail? No, listen. In 2 years, actually less than 2 years, the IEBC is supposed to be reconstituted because it only has 3 commissioners today instead of the 7. This IEBC is required to actually execute a referendum. This IEBC, if you look at the schedule in the schedules of this particular amendment, constitutional amendment bill 2010, if you look at BITOK, you look at the schedule of this particular document, the second schedule, section 74, it is saying transnational and consequential provisions. 1, the elimination of number of constituencies. And it says, within 6 months of the commencement date of this act, the Independent Electoral and Boundary Commission shall, subject to subsection 2, determine the boundaries of the additional 70 constituencies created in Article 89(1 using the criteria provided for in Article 81D and Article 87(7). This IEBC BITOK is supposed to, first of all, being reconstituted, take up a referendum, actually do a boundary review, which would involve public participation, and successfully conduct the 2022 general election. Are we not setting out IEBC to fail? And then it is very ironical that the 70 constituencies are supposed to be created using the criteria provided for by Article 81 and Article 87(7). What does Article 81 and Article 87 talk about? They talk about the qualifications of a certain geographical area becoming a constituency. This constitution if we were to implement it to the letter, we are supposed to scrap about 32 constituencies first. Constituencies in Central, we would lose a constituency like Daragwa that does not qualify as a constituency. We would lose a constituency like Mathioya, which does not qualify. We will lose a constituency like Tetu, which does not qualify. We will lose a constituency like, Mukoroweine, which does not qualify. We have quite a number of constituencies that do not meet this criteria. But somehow, we are saving those constituencies, about 36 or 37 of them. We are saving them while we are creating some other 70 constituencies using the same criteria. Why can't we use that criteria first of all to look at the 280 constituencies that are already existing? So therefore, you are putting IEBC in a place where you are setting it to fail. And if IEBC fails, it doesn't matter whether BBI is there. If IEBC fails, we will have a failed election. And a failed election means that we are back to square zero, where we have been with these skirmishes. To your question, BITOK, about today's meeting, I expect that the Deputy President and his allies will insist on consensus. They will insist on an uncontested referendum. They will insist that we must not set these people against those. This constitutional amendment must not be us versus them. It must be about Kenyans. It must be about the interest of this republic. It must be the interest of Wanjiko. And I told you that this particular BBI has run away from two major things that are supposed to be at the center of this republic. One of the things that this constitution amendment has run away from is the issue of land. The land issue is the biggest issue in this republic. This particular document has not brought provisions to compel Parliament and the government to make the Dongo Land report public.
And you know what is strange? Out of how many chapters do we have wasomaji wa katiba? How many chapters do we have in the constitution? Is it 18? How many do we have?
It should be 18.
Constitution is there.
I think only 3 have not been touched. That is it chapter ile sovereignty of people?
Yes.
With the people.
With the people. Na hiyo wengine yenye unaona they were very curiously quiet about was the chapter that deals with everything land. What is that chapter? Wasomaji wanaelewa. So na mimi nikakaa chini nikajiuliza kama hii kitu really it's about building bridges. A majority of the conflicts that we have, the historical injustices that we have
is on land.
Even when you go back to 2007 2008 post-election violence, ndio ujue tulikuwa na how many IDPs. But these things, the conflict at the end of the day, even if we fought about whether it is nani alishindwa this election or whatever, it boils down to watu walifukuzwa wapi kutoka shamba zao. It boils down to these people do not belong here, so we want them to go back to where they came from. So it was very, very strange, and I questioned it and I said, why did they stay away from the issues of land, and why did they
Chapter 5 of the
Chapter 5 of the Constitution,
yes.
And why did they think that if we are not going to resolve a majority of our historical injustices, and that is why the reason you hear the pastoralists are one of the groups that have come forward opposing it, because you are not really addressing the issue that is bringing conflict amongst the different 47 tribes that we have in this country. So at the end of the day, ile kitu ya kutuambia at this was about building bridges, first of all, that was the first con game. That was the first thing. Hiyo kitu ya kusema that we needed former Prime Minister Raila Odinga to go and shake the hand of our President Uhuru Kenyatta for us to have peace. That was the number 2 conmanship, because then you are saying, and I'm not afraid of saying this, then you are saying that 50 million Kenyans don't matter. That 50 million Kenyans were not at peace until Raila Odinga and Uhuru Kenyatta actually went and had that handshake. In fact, it was very shocking even for the people who were supporting either side of the divide, because suddenly watu walikuwa wanasema si hata sisi tuende handshake, kwani us we are not befitting, kwani sisi hatujafika hiyo level, kwani we don't control an amount of influence within our communities. So for me, the handshake might have been the symbol of introducing the initiative, because again, it is politics. We like pomp and glare and symbolism and all those things. But when they came down to drafting a document, when they came down to talking about the actual issues, we were expecting to see that, for instance, the Truth, Justice and Reconciliation Commission was not just going to be mentioned on page 16 of the BBI, but they said in the BBI that we shall implement the Truth, Justice and Reconciliation Commission. Did I need a document to tell me that that is what is needed to be done? When you read the report, the TGRC report, and even the mechanisms that they have put in terms of the things that need to be implemented to ensure we no longer have those kinds of conflicts, and that the victims of that violence were actually compensated and they felt that they got justice, you will see that if we implemented the TGRC report, if we implemented the Dungu report, if we implemented ile ingine inakuanga ni wako ama inakuanga Waki report, if we implemented reported, we are not in deficit of reports. If we just took those in fact, I was hoping wangesema we have shaken these hands and we have said we must come together, and what we are doing, we are going back to the shelves and taking all those reports, and we are now going to show the goodwill to implement these reports. And by the way, BITOK, allow me to say this. The reason I keep saying it is conmanship and there's no real good intent. We have certain agencies like the Victim Protection Board. The Victim Protection Board is a state agency that is actually, whose mandate is there to ensure that the victims of human rights abuse are protected, that their cases are heard, that they have legal representation in the sense that, you're not marginalized, you are a victim, alafu bado unakuwa disadvantaged because you don't even have proper representation. That board, it has taken us so long to ensure that board has taken off, that board is empowered, that board is being given resources. So when you come and say, okay, now we are going to look at the victims, we are going to do this, we are going to do, and yet the frameworks that government has currently are not being empowered. That is what I say is conmanship.